Looking for the link. Okay, I think this is working. For those of you who don't know, my name is Alex. I play a lot of Pauper online. And this is a deck I'm going to be playing today. It is a green-white mid-range deck. Why do I play it? Because I really like how it works. Pulse and Marasa, how it works. Philosophy behind this deck is basically to put more creatures onto the board than your opponent can handle and then enhance them with Bone Splitter. This deck came about because I'd done a lot of work with Thraben Inspector in a mono white aggressive deck. Really like this card because it replaces itself and it just matches up well in the format. Like I said, it replaces itself, it draws a card. It also can carry a Bone Splitter really well, and it helps just to keep a deck moving. A lot of the cards in this deck, like Journey Nowhere and Squadron Hawk, were in that deck as well. Again, removal spell, creature that replaces itself. The things that green brings are Pulse of Marasa, which is a really great mid-range card. It lets you refuel in the mid-game, bolster your life total, and Pulse of Marasa and Krosan Tusker, which are cards in an uncounterable way. It's really, really nice. Solid Pragmage is just a solid creature that also has utility against a lot of cards in the format. Sign Summoner puts 2 bodies onto the battlefield. Centaur Healer gains you some life. What I'm really happy about is Stoic Builder. This deck started as a red-green deck with Haunted Fengraf as a way to get creatures back. Creatures back. Hawk and Mon Elves, it's not as good. So instead, this deck has taken to running 2 copies of Bant Panorama and 4 copies of the Cycle Lands, 2 green, 2 white. What it lets us do is lets us get us those back to help make land drops and card advantage. Also, with Sense Enlistment, it turns into an engine to produce 1/1s, and that's where the all-stars of Bone Splitter and, to a lesser extent, Moldervine Cloak are wonderful. They really let you turn any creature you top deck into a major threat, which is great. Sideboard is geared towards a couple of key decks. Standard Bearers for Stompy and Hexproof. Burn a little bit also. Thermokarst is for Tron. Prismatic Strands is for Rolling Thunder versions of Tron. Oblivion Ring, Angelic Purge, and Natural State are just full spells I need to bring in. I like diversity there. Armadillo Cloak's a great card. Lets us race other aggro decks and bolsters our life total. This is a really brief overview of the deck. I wrote a little bit about it in my column on Gathering Magic this week. But yeah, so if you have questions, tweet at me at Nerd to the Core, because it's pretty bad and I can't have multiple things open at once. So let's join a league. Pauper leagues have been great because they let you get a lot of testing in for minimal investment. Before, with the daily events, you had to carve out 4 straight hours, which, you know, I'm a professional. I don't really have the time to do that. Why am I streaming now? Well, because I I work in academia, so summer hours have started for me. So going to a Pauper League. Last record was not so good. I played the red-green version. But the last time I ran the green-white mid-range version, I went 4-1. So let's see if I can run it back. Just make sure I did the right decks. I do this so often. Yeah, you can see the deck I did last time. That was not a good one. Green-white mid-range. Submit. 80 play points. Unredeemable. Yada, yada, yada. Play league match. Really wish I could like get on Twitch, but I really can't. For whatever reason, my computer just does not like to work with it. I run on a laptop, so I'm not surprised about that. Should really close this. Don't always like how long it takes to wait now. For some reason, Pauper League's been taking a while to get a match, so you'll see me do this a lot. Hey, thanks for doing that, Sam. I don't get to stream very often because, well, I live in a tiny apartment and my spouse doesn't really get the game. So me taking over, you know, our dining room table, which is also our living room table, and also our kitchen table to, we live in New York, to talk about Magic is not something that I get to do very often. But because they're going to be out late and I'm going to be home early, I have a chance to stream a little bit. Let's try again. Chances are it doesn't actually make it go faster. I just think it makes me feel better. It's going to make an awesome YouTube video when it's done, though, let me tell you. It's probably also a little bit of a quiet time right now because we just came back up from downtime a couple hours ago. So let me see if I can talk a little bit while we wait about why I've been running so much mid-range in Pauper. Pauper is, unfortunately right now, it feels a lot like a solitaire format. When you look at this has a lot to do with the history, where until very recently, the best deck was a Cloud of Fairies combo deck, which it was to race it. Oh, we got a match. I'll finish more about that and why I think. I'll make a note about why mid-range. I won the die roll. This is a weird hand, but I'm going to keep it. Why am I going to keep it? Well, I have a lot of card draw. Turn 1 Thraben Inspector is really one of the better things you can be doing in the format. Oh, they mulligan to 5. 6 rather. Oh, 4? Okay. So this already tells me they're on one of 2 decks. They're either on Affinity or they're on Nivix Cyclops combo. Very few other decks will mulligan that aggressively. Don't ask me why, but oh, well, that's the other option. Stompy. Was not anticipating that. They are probably on the all-in version of Stompy. And what do I mean by that? Well, he's been playing a lot more like a burn deck recently. Meaning that it's more concerned with, it's more concerned with trying to like get the perfect draw and deal 20 as fast as possible, which is pretty awkward for me. This Scourge is going to do a lot of work against me, so I have to play defensive. The good news is they How do I want to play this? So I drew this, which can give me reach. So I have two options. I can play an inspector and crack the clue, which I think is the play, because then it gives me two reach guys for when they inevitably pump. It also allows me to block Young Wolf a little more profitably. And I drew a lot of land. So this is fine. They don't have a great hand, but they have a better one than I do. However, I'm sure you can do that again. Okay. I'm willing to take this because they're really running out of gas. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened. So what's going to happen is I'm going to bestow. I'm going to block. I'm going to lose a creature, but I'm going to gain a creature because the Dryad's going to fall off. No matter what, the Dryad's going to resolve. If he tries to Vines here, it doesn't matter. Yep. And I just play defense. Eventually, I'm going to pulse back one of my guys, do it again, and there's really not much they're going to be able to do about this. I'm going to get to a relatively safe life total. And I'm actually going to be in a position this game where I'm probably going to be able to cast Krosan Tusker. Now, this is not what I want to be doing. I'd much rather be being on the aggressive already, but you got to play the cards you're dealt. And I kept a land-heavy hand. So they almost definitely have a pump spell here. They wouldn't be attacking otherwise. And I'm going to guess it's Vines of the Vastwood. Yeah. What they don't realize is that's actually great for me. Yeah, I don't care. You're at 34. That's fantastic. I think that's just a play. Gain some life, block for a little while. Eventually what's going to happen is if I block here and then they do it again, I just get to re-bestow. And as long as my life total stays high enough, there's not much they can do. Eventually I'm going to draw into some removal. The nice thing about Vault Scourge being in the deck is that it actually makes my main deck Prime Mages live for removal. Okay, it's two Rankers in hand. Okay. This could actually get bad. Yeah, because now they can Ranker up something. Oh, okay. So I just actually have to get this back. And if he continues to attack the same way again, I get to cast Tusker next turn. I'm actually not in great shape anymore. But this is where Standard Bearer really, really shines. Elvish Mystic, not so much. Elvish Mystic is more for when I really need to get the jump on Tron. I don't know why I'm still running it, actually. Double target on Nettle Sentinel. Okay. This is Mutagenic Growth? I mean, okay. Really doing work, that Leaf Crown Dryad. One, two, three, four, five. What the problem is here is that, so they have a Rancor in hand. If they Rancor the Wolf, I need to take the hit. Unless they play another land, in which case I have to, now I have to block. They need to have exactly Groundswell or Vines to kill me. So I think the play here is to just do this and hope they don't have it. I don't think I'm winning otherwise. Yep. Okay. Oh, shucks. That would have been nice. Okay. I played that wrong. I probably should have blocked, but now I get to do this. Ooh. That's 5 cards I want to bring in. You guys are coming out. These cards are fine. They're just not great here. Do I want to cut a land? That's like not even a question. Standard Bearer is great. I think it's Moldavine Cloak. I think Standard Bearer is great because of what it does. Basically, it makes it so they can't profitably attack. Rather, they can't pump. It was really good in my white list against Stompy. Yeah, that's a great opener because I have it, and they're mulliganing again. So yeah. See, now what happens is this, unless they have Epic Confrontation or some other fight spell, this shuts down their entire game plan. Because now they just have a bunch of undersized creatures. Like, everything they do is undersized. I will take this hit. Okay, that is fine. Also fine. My goal here is to now play defensive until I can resolve a threat. Because there really isn't much they can do. I can just block everything. And until they get a fight spell, if they even carry them, like I said, Epic Confrontation. Do they have mutagenic growth? I mean, that'd be bad. No, they just threw away creatures. Yeah, having the Epic Confrontation there was actually terrible for me, and it probably is going to cost me this match. Most of these decks are in 1 or 2 copies of that. Like, I'm really content to trade creatures here, so I don't understand what they're doing. Sure. I'm very confused. I mean, it's working for them. I can't establish a threat, which is, a problem, but ugh. Let's hope I can draw. Okay. So this is not great, and I might lose the race, but it buys me some time. I need more time. That's a problem. Like a 5-5 versus a 3-3 is not a race I can win. Especially because they pack more pump spells. Yep. And another one. What's in their hand? I'm not going to win this game because they just had everything. That is actually impressive. I don't know. Yeah, no, I can't win. They're going to deal at least 7 to me next turn. I need to draw Cloak or... Did they bring in Gleeful Sabotage because they saw the... I mean, okay. I lost to Double Fate. Ooh, that's just brutal. Okay, they win. Yeah, losing to sideboard cards is annoying, but it happens. I drew my sideboard card, they drew theirs. That is unfortunate. Theirs were better than mine. Anyway, why do I want to play mid-range right now? A lot of the decks, like you saw with that one, they're very highly focused on trying to win, to the point where they're playing a solitaire game almost. This is because of Esper Combo. The best way to beat that deck was to try and race it before it could beat you. When Cloud of Fairies got banned, they change? They kind of just stayed the same. So we have decks that are really just 100% focused on just enacting their own game plan. So what this means is that sometimes just resolving a singular threat and putting Bone Splitter on it is good enough. And so that's why I'm on this mid-range kick. I got myself to a pretty hefty win rate, like an 80% win rate across 5 leagues with mono white rather. And now I'm trying different versions. I went 4-1 with an older version of this. So now I'm just trying to go again. What did I play the first time with it? The first time I got fairly lucky. I beat Affinity, lost to Tron, beat Marasa Black, which is a black-based control deck with Pulse of Marasa, beat Mono Black, and then beat Boros Metalcraft. Stomping I didn't think was going to be that tough of a matchup. I just, game one, I drew a lot of lands. That's what happens when you run 23 lands, which is a lot. Maybe I should have sounded some out. Matched game 2. I had 2 of my sideboard cards. They had 2 answer sideboard cards. What should I have done differently? Up with the Tusker. Obviously, I mean, the problem there is they had to have exactly one of those cards to win. They had to have either Vines of Vastwood or Groundswell to win. I don't think I win that game if I do block. I prolong death for a turn, but I'm not sure that's the same as winning. So it depends on what I think is better. Game 2, I really like my hand. I had Hate. I had, Pride Mage to get damage through. What really just kind of stunk was they had the Epic Confrontation, which they run 2 to 3 of in the sideboard. Some decks run 1 main. And then they had the Gleeful Sabotage, which I'm almost certain they brought in because they were assuming I had Journey to Nowhere. So yeah, that's just annoying. Let's see, is there a Hangouts chats going on? Nope. So anyone watching out there, do you have any questions? Tweet them at me at Nerd to the Core. With this deck, I'm trying to see if I can go 3-2. The red-green deck I would be in. Last night I went 2-3. Really was trying something out. If I don't do well with this, there's a really good chance I'm just going to go back to mono-white or a black-based control deck. I really like those. But I believe that better than you saw. But I should hope it's better than what you saw. Otherwise, I really shouldn't be playing it. So who's got questions for me? Tweet at Nerd to the Core. If I could figure out how to make the chat work on this thing, I would totally let you know. Don't like these long wait times. See, the funny thing is, well, I don't know if it's funny or just coincidental. Earlier today, I tweeted out that the problem with Magic coverage is that Magic isn't baseball. And what I meant is that a lot of the time during Magic coverage, specifically of live events, less so with streaming, is that there's a ton of downtime because thought-filled game. You're thinking all the time. And when you're not thinking, your opponent is thinking. So what ends up happening is that when you're looking, it's a bunch of people staring at each other thinking. And that is intensely boring. More than that, there's not this cultural knowledge of Magic wherein we know what's happening. You know, you tune into a baseball game as a casual fan, you have an idea of what may or may not be happening. I'm going to have to mulligan this hand. I can't. You know what? I have 2 Bone Splitters. If I draw a white source, I'm really good, or any Plains is good. And turn 1 Ponder means they're either on Blue-Black Delver, which is a decent matchup, Delver, which is spotty, or you are Kiln Fiend Nivix Cyclops, which could go either way. I really need to do now is draw Plains. 3 Thraben Inspector and no Plains is not great. So 2 islands, no land. They are on Delver. Okay. So this is awkward. This is incredibly awkward. I should have mulliganed. I was greedy. Delver is going to punish me. Like, if there was a deck that I didn't want to have an awkward draw against, it would be Delver. And I'm having an awkward draw against Delver. Like, anything I cast now is probably going to be spell started. Yeah, this is just going to be hella awkward. Yeah. It's so uncomfortable. See, what I don't like sometimes is when people get ahead, they start making mistakes. There's no reason to cast that pre-combat. Like, 0 reason to cast that pre-combat. The Spire Golem. Okay, you're going to win this game. What could I draw? I could draw planes. Oh, they're flooded. And I'm still in decent shape health-wise, so maybe? Okay, let's try something. Or another spell stutter. Okay. Still not dead. Oh, here comes the gush for no reason. Like, see, this is what I mean. There's no reason to cast gush there. Basically, you're not behind, you're not digging for anything. It doesn't do anything for you. It just is a cool play. Like, sure, they drew a card, but they were so far ahead. Did they really need to draw another card? Or could they have waited to the end of my turn, tapped out for it? Fine. Honestly, they probably could have tapped out for it and been fine. I'm not an instant speed deck, and sure. Can they beat me next turn? Yeah. Okay, you're going to draw a card. That's fine. Why is Loam Dryad in the deck? Loam Dryad's in the deck because I wanted another way to produce mana that wasn't Elvish Mystic that could produce white. Let's see if this resolves. It won't resolve. And it doesn't matter if it does. There's nothing I really could have done differently. I could have mulliganed, and that was about it. Yep. Made a poor decision, got punished. Now the question becomes, what do I side in? So there really isn't much. This Delver deck probably packs Vapor Snag and things like that. I actually think I'm fairly well set up against the deck. Maybe I want to put in Angelic Purge or Natural State, but I really can't think of much. Maybe Armadillo Cloak, but honestly, I think that with a better draw, like just if I mulligan there, I'm in significantly better shape. I'm not sure what they can be bringing in. Because I have 8 removal spells against them because Pride Mage kills one of their better threats. This is a much better hand. Basically, they need to have Daze or leave open a mana for Force Spike. So I'm going to cycle this to get into my graveyard for Pulse or Stoic Builder. That's fantastic. This hand is significantly better already. So they did not shuffle. I'm going to play like they don't have Daze. And if they have it, I'm screwed. But they don't have it, so I get to draw cards. Now this game becomes significantly easier for me because I have a steady flow of cards. They don't necessarily... what do they do here? What they can do here. They can plus Ponder for some reason. So that tells me they probably have a Vapor Snag in hand. They probably think that I have something like a Armadillo, not an Armadillo. They probably think I have Rancor or Armadillo Cloak, which means they're probably leaving something up if they don't. Okay, let's see. So I think, yeah, because what I don't want to play right now, I want to wait till next turn when I can cast 2. Pride Mage, however, increases my clock. Exalted is a really good ability in the format. Basically, it lets you quality of any creature. Oh, you're asking me how it's been doing. Okay. Yeah, Coral Net is a really good card, but I can just, it kind of stops them cold. But what are they going to do? I mean, I'm going to sacrifice this eventually. I'm actually going to sacrifice it now because why not? So let me talk a little bit why I play panoramas over Terramorphic Expanse and the like. I play panoramas over those cards because from mana. And that is a vastly underrated ability. Because if this was a Terramorphic Expanse or a what's the other one called? Evolving Wilds this turn. And so in a deck that can take advantage of that, that is really a huge advantage. So what's probably going to happen here is Spiral Golem. Yep, that's fine. 2 Spiral Golems. Have you met my friend? So, here I'm going to play a land. I'm going to suit up one of these. Because even if they Vapor Snag it, there really isn't too much. There's not a lot of bad things that can happen. If they Vapor Snag it, I just get to cast both of those again next turn. Moldavine Cloak is kind of like a Bone Splitter, except it costs you cards in your graveyard. If they attack with both, that almost definitely means... So what am I going to do here? First things first, I'm going to cycle this for a forest. Then I'm going to play the forest. And then I think I'm actually going to pass the turn. My plan at the end of the turn is to thin my deck again with Panorama, and then cycle the Steep. This is actually really great. So I think I can safely start attacking. I probably should have attacked last turn. So let's see, how do they block here? They double block. That's fine. So why am I okay with that? Well, this is why. First, I'm going to bait with a Squadron Hawk. They almost definitely have a counterspell for this. They don't. So, Sen's Enlistment is a card that basically lets me out attrition them. Because what's going to happen is they can start attacking me, but if I'm making 2 threats a turn and eventually resolve a Bone Splitter, do. And I get to dredge Moldavine Cloak. Okay, yeah, Delver is great. With Preordain, they did, which means that their card is almost definitely a instant or sorcery. So let's see what they got here. It's almost for sure going to get countered. Which I'm fine with. Just make more 1/1s and go from there. Ponder. Sure. Yeah, Elvish Mystic is really showing itself to be a liability in this game. It's really good when you draw it on the first turn. After that, not so much. But let's see, how many counters? They've wasted one counter spell. Trying to figure out what they would have in hand. Probably a null, maybe the spell. So this tells me they almost for certain have an Ninja of the Deep Hours in hand. I'm willing to make this trade because if I dredge it back and then just suit it, if I dredge back Cloak and suit it up, there really isn't much they can do. Like they're putting 4 toughness onto the board with 2 power, but I can continue to block. Oh, Piracy Charm. Okay. That was unfortunate. Huh. That is interesting. Okay. Okay. So they shuffled, so they have a blank. Let's see. Okay, so their plan is to try and beat me in the air. I can't discard a card, so I have to sacrifice it. I dredge Moldavine Cloak. I play Moldavine Cloak. I attack. This is a good game. I'm probably going to lose. It's not a good game. Okay, Brainstorm. Let's see what you do here. Because you have a blank in hand. It's probably Spellstutter Sprite. Okay, so that tells me they have another ninja in hand. Yep. And now Sprite. Okay, Ponder. Yeah, that game one really knocked the wind out of my sails. So here's the question. Maybe I have exactly Counterspell to screw me. If I attack with both. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast Sense Enlistment, because then if I attack with both, I put them on a 1-turn clock. And they have to have exactly Counterspell. Great. So I can now do this. Now they have to leave things back to block next turn. Okay, Sprite, which tells me they have another ninja, actually. Ooh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's just lethal. That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. I mean, happens. That was unnecessary. Why are you doing unnecessary things? Yep, good games. Well, I don't like when people show me their hand. I just don't like it. It's like, okay, I get it. You win. These things happen. Hold it against the person. I just don't like it. It doesn't really serve to further any kind of game discussion. I am almost for certain going to be switching decks after this run. So before I was talking, oh, never mind. I get to jump right back in. So what have we learned so far? We've learned that I'm running too many lands, and that Elvish Mystic is not the best draw, especially late. The other problem is for some reason my Bone Splitters have been showing up. The one game they did show up, I was so far behind it didn't really matter. This is a good hand. This is a hand where Elvish Mystic kind of proves its worth, because I get to put 3 power onto the board. Actually, I'll have 4 power on the board by turn 2, provided that... okay, this will be interesting. So, let's see. They did not play any kind of cog or map or anything. Are they going to natural Tron me? So, what I'm actually going to do is this. I'm going to play this Bone Splitter. Bone Splitter is going to be more damage over time. Oh, good news. They did not Tron instantly. Seagate Oracle. Sure. I'm inclined. This changes everything. So, this is what you're going to do. Here, I'm going to Pride Mage. I'm going to attack with Summoner. And then I'm going to take them off colored mana. It's not great, but Tron really is greedy at times with not running enough colored mana sources. And it's one reason why I like main deck Pride Mage. See, they have 0. They now have an unsustainable colored mana source. What does that mean? That they can't really cast their spells. Okay, this happens. What happens next? I get to resolve things. They don't. Now, granted, what I'm resolving isn't exactly, world beater kind of stuff here, but I'm able to do so consistently. Drawing all my tapped lands, however, is really unpleasant. So let me Squadron Hawk. 1, 2, 3. Play another Mana Rock. Soup this guy up. And attack. Now, they could just rip a Tron piece here, cast Ulamog's Crusher, and kill me. But that may not happen. Okay. First things first, let me suit this guy up with a Bone Splitter. Attack in the air. And play out the rest of them. Now, this is very bad because there's a very, very good chance that my opponent will have Rolling Thunder mate. Why? What? Okay. That I do not understand that play. Makes more sense now. Yep, here's where things get problematic. Because now they can start gaining tons and tons and tons of life. Spectre look really bad. Like, laughably bad. As in, I will never crack this clue as long as that thing is on the board. That clue might as well not exist. People ask me why I prefer Bone Splitter over Rancor. This is why. I can move it. And moving it is huge at times. How do I win next turn? I rip Moldavine Cloak. That is how I win. Things are getting dicey because now they can start drawing cards. And if they haven't drawn an artifact yet that they can sacrifice, I'd be shocked. Absolutely shocked. I'm shocked. That's unfortunate. They're still constrained on mana sources that can produce non-colorless mana. So if I attack here, they trade, they get it back, they waste mana next turn doing it all over again. I think I make that trade because I still get them 3 damage. Still make them use their mana in a way that is not entirely efficient. And yeah. Also, there's an opportunity for them to get back. Do they have another creature in the graveyard? No. They're getting back Null Drifter. This also gives me multiple outs if I draw a Journey to Nowhere, which for some reason I haven't drawn at all in any of these games. That's weird. Still only one source of color mana. Oh, they're on the Sanctum Gargoyle version. Oh, this is obnoxious. I can start gaining a ton of life. Yep. Because anytime I kill the Sanctum Gargoyle, they're going to gain 5 life. Here's where things start to fall apart. Unless I can find, again, a... Yep, gain your 5. So now it actually might be worth it to crack the clue. I say that because if I crack the clue, it puts them up to 15. Their life total is largely irrelevant. It's really, I have to get that off the table. I don't like doing this, but I need to draw something. That'd be so much better with one of these cards in my graveyard. One of these. Let's see what they discard. Seagate Oracle and... Trying to figure out what happens here. Stoic Builder has not been impressive this run. Attack with that, attack for 6, but they block with that. So my play is this, because that's not a play. So actually I'm just going to... Yeah, blah. No, that's not right either. The play is actually to put it, yeah, no, I've screwed this up so many times. The play is that because then if they attack, I can at least block. But it's not looking good for Homestar Runner. Discarding Rolling Thunder tells me they have another Rolling Thunder somewhere, which, you know, is terrible for me. Thunder really wipes my board. Yep, like I said, here comes a giant Rolling Thunder. For 14. 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I actually probably should have blown it up. God, I'm playing this horribly. Like, really poorly. Oh, well. This should at least make quick work of me. Gotta love the Stoic Builder value, right? I'm actually right back in this game. Sorta, not really, he said sarcastically. Okay, you know what? I have not actually seen a Tron deck with 3 copies of Rolling Thunder, but I was not expecting 3 copies of Rolling Thunder. Most decks I've seen run 2? But sure, you got there, guy. Or girl. Sorry about that. Or non-binary person. I'm actually being serious. I don't mean to be diminishing in any capacity. Just, you got there. You come in. You do not. You go out. You come in. You went 1 in. So these are the cards I want in. What cards are less impressive? Well, they're not running removal, so Leaf Crown Dryad is less impressive. That is less impressive. That is less impressive. So I've already sorted out 4 cards. So these definitely want to come in. Strands is really, really good. You know what? Let's get crazy. Side out 2 lands. Lands and enter tapped. Let's get crazy. Why am I doing this? Well, part of it's because I want to see if it's correct to actually run fewer lands in the deck. There's because I need to just get more threats in. 23 is almost definitely too many lands. Almost for sure too many. So let's see what's going to happen. Game was going really well until, all the extra rolling thunders. I expected to, but not the third. So why do I compare Magic to baseball? Coverage, anyway. Because you can turn into baseball, and there's not a lot going on, but understand baseball on a level where you understand all the rules, you can still kind of get what's going on. That's where Magic kind of fails, is that there's not this cultural provenance of what is understood to be about the game. This is a fine hand, I will keep it. I have card advantage, I can blow up their first significant play. And if I draw into Thermokarst, I can cast it at some point. Thermokarst is a delaying tactic. It's not anything that I expect to be great. There's, someone on my Facebook page, facebook.com/nerdtothecore, told me that they didn't think the benefit of adding a second color outweighed the detriment to the mana base, and they're very likely correct, given what's been going on with these matches. I've had very awkward draws. My 4-1 was more than likely than not fluky. It happens. But let me just see what I can afford to be a little fluky because I have a decent amount. How many play points do I have? Just checking on this. I have enough play points for at least 4 more league runs, provided I just bomb every league. So I'm kind of okay taking some risks. Let's make sure I'm still connected to the internet. What could they possibly be thinking about? Okay. So, yeah, I think this is my plan. Just run it out there, start attacking their life total. If they blow it up, well, they blew it up. Again, it would take them off a colored mana source, which is what I would want them to do with it anyway. That is actually fantastic for them. Okay, we got one of the sideboard all-stars. So what Prismatic Strands will do is it will let me basically completely negate a Rolling Thunder. It will actually let me negate multiple Rolling Thunders, provided I can keep a creature on the board, which I hope to be able to do. Success. They have a cog-heavy hand. So what does this mean? Well, it means that any chance I have relies on them not getting to Tron quickly and also avoiding them casting Fangren Marauder, because, oh god, it's going to be gross if they get to resolve that. Like, sufficiently disgusting. I wonder if they have Electricity. Okay, yep. Things are not looking great. They'll go get tower. But again, they don't have multiple sources of color mana, which puts me at a mild advantage initially. Do they have electricity? One, two, three, four, five. Did I play land this turn? I did. Okay. Why did I leave mana up like this? One is for electricity. The other is to crack a clue in response to a potential Fangren Marauder. What are they going to reveal? Where's the Marauder? This is actually pretty good because I get to pressure their life total too. It's not perfect. Like I'm far from being in great shape, but I'm not completely hosed. Yep, do this, go up to 18. Okay. Tron is one of those decks that's right now it's a combo deck. It doesn't really. Sure. Okay, you have removal now. Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn I can actually cast Tusker, which may be great or may be awful. We're about to find out. So I'm actually going to start entering chump block mode. Why? Simply because there really isn't much I can do. I need to keep my life total high enough so that when they start casting Rolling Thunders, I'm not completely, well, dead. Car starts to look pretty bad. So this is probably why they run so many Rolling Thunders. They're completely obsessed with resolving it, which I'm pretty safe from losing to... Okay. How do I want to play this? Because I can't cast everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two. Yep. 2. Yep. So my goal here is to actually chump with Squadron Hawk and then Prismatic Strands anything they try to do. If they try to like Rolling Thunder or something, do that. Otherwise, my goal is to just live as long as I can. It's unfortunate. Oh, that's fantastic. Because next turn I can Thermokarst and take them off of dangerous things. Like, I'm going to cycle the Tusker to gain some card economy. It's not ideal, but I can do it. Hopefully I'll draw a good card, like a Pulse or something. They're incredibly low on cards, actually. They're only on 3. So, sure. That is not a good sideboard card against me, considering I have main deck Kasali Pride Mage. But you do you, guy or girl. You do you. Okay, we are making a game of this. Thermokarst there. Raven Inspector. The chump block game is in full effect. And I'm effectively at 14. Sure. Sure. Now we come to the secret about Tron. They are slow as molasses. I'm streaming and I have this much more time than them? That's impressive. Okay, they have Haunted Fengraf in hand. So what does that mean? Do I think they have the Rolling Thunder? If they do, it's 1, 2, 3. If they have it, it is terrible. So yes, the play is to cast that. The play is to gain them some life, unfortunately. I know what I'm doing. It's unfortunate, but their life total is irrelevant at the moment. It's mostly just it blocks me from doing anything quickly. Meanwhile, Kraken at least gets me a card. I'm actually willing to take this here because then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I can block. Again, their life total is not a thing I'm worried about right now because they are going to gain a metric ton of life. What are they trying to do here? Yeah, 2 mill drifters. Okay. I'm going to lose this in all likelihood. I'm not sure what I can do differently. Or, well, I can play a different deck. Did I count that wrong? Oh, I really counted that wrong. Oh, that's painful. That is really painful. Okay. I counted wrong. Yep, okay. So new plan involves not dying. But it also involves drawing 2 separate copies of... Well, at least I bought myself some time. Come on, not land. Wow, this has been a really entertaining stream. I have not done well at all. Part of me just wants to drop from this league, but I'll probably just stop streaming after this, finish it out, see how it ends. Maybe come back and do it all again, you know, at some point in the not too distant future. Don't F6, you fool. Yeah. So I'm starting to think that this deck is just not great. Bad. I just think it has trouble. Now, granted, I can survive for quite a while. I have quite a few turns left before I'm totally dead. It's just doing a good job of Sure, let me draw cards. That's a lot of land. I'm down to 21 land in the deck, and I have drawn 1, 2, 3. Well, I have seen, not drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I'm on a 5-turn clock. Like 4 more turns, actually. Sure, person. Run that. Oh, that's a lot of land to see. You did bring in Crusher. Fantastic. Can't use prismatic strands to stop this because colorless is not a color. Well, I have a 2 in 20 chance. A 3 in 23 chance. So how do I want to play this? Well, I'm going to block like so. I'm then going to flash this back to prevent red spells from killing me. I'm going to blow this up. Hope they disconnect. This deck is laughably bad against Tron. I didn't really realize how bad this matchup was. But boy. this is not going to go well. Like, I'm going to go to one. I did not realize that's how it worked. Literally, what I'm doing here is just going through the motions. I'm going to one. They almost definitely have a Rolling Thunder, at which point I'm going to die. I don't know why they didn't cast Rolling Thunder pre-combat, but not my chicken, not my farm. Sure. And I'm going to concede because the chance of them timing out in the next 30 seconds. And thus ends my experiment on stream of playing this deck. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and this will go up at some point. Maybe I'll be back later tonight, maybe not. Bye.